Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother as a ride. I'm going to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawashi by Hashem Mashiach, Malak, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, learning and or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. I'm going to give a disclaimer. I'm a little under the weather right now. A little congestion right now. So if you see me pause or you see a gap, whatever, you won't see me pause it. But if you see a gap or whatever, it feels like I'm coming back into this thing. I might be coughing or something else. I'm not trying to do all that in the phone if I can avoid it. So, or I got caught up in something else. But anyway, pertaining to the house. So, but anyway, y'all willing, we're gonna push through this. So here's a video, right? You see the title: woman slips out of handcuffs and shoots AR-15 out of police vehicle. All right, now without further more ado, I'm gonna run this video and we gonna see what transpires from it.
Tonight, an Oklahoma woman is in jail after she managed to slip out of her handcuffs in the back of a police car, obtain an AR-15, and open fire on sheriff's deputies, according to local police. The shocking moments were captured on the car's internal camera and police body cams. On Friday, Grady County Sheriff's deputies performed a welfare check on a woman found crawling around someone's yard while barking, according to the charging documents filed in court. The woman identified herself as 36-year-old Rachel Zion Clay. Police handcuffed her and placed her in protective custody in the back of a police car, according to the court documents. But while deputies were outside the car taking statements from civilians nearby, Clay managed to slip out of her cuffs and access a console in the front seat labeled gun, the undersheriff said in an interview. They say she was then able to load around into the chamber and fire outside the vehicle. Body camera footage released by police show moments shots rang out. Confusion as deputies try to figure out what just happened.
Danny, I'm hit right here.
One civilian receiving a wound to the chest. He's later taken to the hospital, according to NBC affiliate KFOR, while the sheriff's deputy is only grazed by the bullet. As the deputies and the wounded bystander take cover and call for backup, more shots ring out.
Got a civilian hit. What the heck?
Law enforcement expert Cheryl Dorsey weighing in on the incident.
Sometimes women are smaller frame and they have the ability to slip their hands through the cuff, even though the cuff may itself be locked.
With the arrival of backup begins an hours-long standoff as Clay barricades herself in the police car, refusing to emerge. After 3.5 hours of negotiations with police and the deployment of an armored breaching vehicle, the woman finally surrenders.
If it means saving a life, you take as much time as you need in order to bring this tactical situation to a successful conclusion.
Court documents from her arraignment on Monday include notes she allegedly managed to write while barricaded, revealing her disturbed state of mind. Efforts to reach Clay were unsuccessful, and she was not represented by an attorney at her initial court appearance.
It was a compilation of errors. I get that you want to have easy access to a AR-15, but not when you have a suspect in your vehicle. Another officer could have and should have been monitoring visually the suspect who was seated behind the car.
Clay was charged with 3 counts of shooting with intent to kill, and according to court documents, is currently being held on $1 million bail.
All right, Maya Eagleton joins us now here in studio. So Maya, is the sheriff's department going to do anything different now? Because obviously this woman seemed to get there pretty fast.
Right, so they're actually going to remove that console labeled gun, and they're going to find a new location for those extra weapons and also provide some additional training for their staff.
Thanks for watching our YouTube.
Lock it for the coffin. But yeah. Now look, if you're thinking, what kind of handcuffs they had on, she basically just Batman through the whole thing. Now look, if y'all thinking anything like how I'm thinking, you're wondering, why is she still alive? I mean, and of course, that's a rhetorical question because we know why she's still alive. It's because she's an Edomite. Right? She's an Edomite. They let her live because she's of Edom, of their people, right? And they get away with this type of stuff, right? They get away with this type of stuff. It's nothing to them, right? You know, like, hey, we know, right? If you know, you know, right? If you truthful, if you speak of the truth, no matter what nation you are, if you speak the truth, then you know that had this been a Jake, for one, they might not have been allowed to even get in the back of the vehicle. And they would have made sure an AR-15 is not available to them. But let's just say that they did make these same mistakes, right? A Jake, whether it be a brother or a sister, the women get a little bit easier than the men. So, you know, in a lot of situations, but in this case, no, a woman would have gotten shot. Had it been a Jake sister to do what this Edomite chick did, yeah, she would have got shot, no doubt. She'd have been killed. So had it been of the nation of Israel, right, a so-called black, definitely, Judah, covering the Judah range, but. Definitely Judah, but Latino, Native American. There's been a so-called black man, black woman in the 12 tribes, especially Judah. Had it been one of them, they'd have been out of there, right? They'd have been out of there. But instead, what do you see? You see the cops taking the measures, the precautionary measures, and doing the best that they could to not kill her, despite the fact that she was actually a real threat. Hell, she shot a civilian. She shot a civilian and shot him in the chest. And still, that wasn't enough for them to provoke. That wasn't enough to provoke these cops to kill her. Let that have been Jake. I already know what the story would have been. They'd have been out the game, because they kill our people for less. They kill our people for less. They never want to blame themselves. This is how you know this is Esau, man. Look, let's go to the book of Zephaniah, or let's go to Zechariah 5 and 11, or Salakia. Let's go to Zechariah 11 and 5, actually. Start off at 4. Thus saith Yahweh my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So look at this. Look, and this is what it is. They hold themselves not guilty. They can get away with these things. Whether it be the cops, holding themselves not guilty, the department, the deputy, the office, they hold them not guilty. And then you got even the people in their own nation that they may have detained, right? This woman is supposed to be detained, and she pulls a Batman, right? A Batgirl, whatever you want to call it. And she gets out of the handcuffs, grabs the AR-15, and actually shoots another Edomite on top of that. And wounds him, right? With a gunshot. She's a threat. At this point, now, of course, I'm not advocating if you're going to do this. We're just asking police to keep it 1,000. 5-0, keep it 1,000, right? If you're going to do this with one side, keep it consistent, right? Keep that same energy. So if Jake holding that AR-15, do the same thing that you just did with that Edomite. Now, had you killed the Edomite, and look, had they actually shot the Edomite, even if they just shot it, didn't have to be a kill. That'd have been cool, because it's an Edomite. I don't care. Had that been an Edomite, and she pouring the AR-15 in others, so let's add that on there. But had they actually shot back at her, not even with the intent to kill, just a shot at her and retaliated with that same scope that they retaliate with Jake, I'm not even doing this video. There's nothing to talk about. You did your job. You kept it equal, right? Equal rights, since everybody's equal in Babylon, right? Like you did your job. But we see that. We see the folly in these type of things, man. And we see how much more Jake is going to continue to be attacked as these times continue to go on. This is why you got to have the Most High Yahawah as your armor. He's got to deliver us. Psalms 119. Let's jump down to 120. Start off at 120. Or 119, actually. Thou puttest away all the wicked of the earth like dross. Therefore I love thy testimonies. My flesh trembleth for fear of thee, and I am afraid of thy judgments. And I have done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation and for the word of thy righteousness. Look, and that's what we want. We gotta seek for that salvation, right? Salvation, being saved from those who hate us, right? And you still got Jakes out here that know they so-called know they an Israelite and all that too, all different varieties of it, and still want to save these people, these Edomites. And they still, right? And it's still, shoot, you still got people that still say Esau's not predominantly the so-called white man. Predominantly. I had a Jake ask, say that he didn't believe the Romans with the same atrocities they committed. This is modern day Rome, and their DNA doesn't equivalent to the Edomites. And look, we don't have time to be doing. I don't have time to be wasting my energy on debates like this anymore. It's just at this point. It's just at the end. Like, there's no point in this. At this point, if you can't see that Esau is predominantly the so-called white man, lack of understanding you have. Prophecy's understanding you do not. You better take a seat. You got take a seat, right? There's nothing to talk to you about. You just have to pray that the Most High give you the spirit of understanding to wake up and understand and see that. Because that's just crazy. We too far at the end for that. You got there's too much information, too many books. And on a regular everyday life, you just feel it. You just see what's going on. You see these situations like these, right? How much more do you really need? The evidence is blatant. It's just right in front of your face. It couldn't look you dead in the eyes for you to be able to see it more, because it's right there. Now look, let's take it another step. Listen, I was going to just label it just to this. You know what? Let's go into this, right? Before I go to where I was going to, let's go into this article right here, right? Because our people have gotten shot. We know that our people have gotten shot for a lot less. Now, this is an old article. This was created in January 2021. So, mind you, we know there's a lot more killings that have taken place since then. Right? Your George Floyd, your Breonna Taylors, we know those. Shalaki. Now, we're going to look at a situation such as this, right? Ronald Foster, right? This is a brother named Ronald Foster. Was riding his bicycle through the Hunshin streets of Al-Khalif one evening when a police officer noticed that the bike had no lights and he was weaving in and out of traffic. The officer, Ryan McMahon or McHahn or McMuffin, whatever, it doesn't matter what his name is, whatever you want to call him, went after Foster with lights flashing, siren blaring, and the car's spotlight pointing directly at him. Foster stopped. The pair exchanged words before Foster, who was on community supervision for a car theft conviction a month earlier, fled, eventually ditching the bicycle. McMuffin caught up with Foster and jumped on top of him. The two struggled. McMuffin, a rookie on the force, used a taser on the father of two and struck him several times with his department-issued flashlight. Gunfire erupted, 7 shots total. When it was over, Foster, 33, lay dying in the bushes in a darkened courtyard near an apartment complex. Now look at this, man. The man is totally unarmed. Now, yeah, they go into a tussle match, and a lot of you Edomites would say that, oh, well, look, he shouldn't have struggled. And I'll be the first to always say, don't give Edomites a reason, right? Comply to what they say. The scriptures even tell you that, right? Scriptures even tell you as such, to take heed, basically. Take heed, listen to the oppressor before you found reason to kill you. I believe that's Matthew 5:25, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, agreeing with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, thou be cast into prison. So, I'm definitely in agreement that don't give him a reason. Agree with that adversary, man. As the scripture says, Yahawashi stated. Don't give him a reason. Don't give them a reason to, give you the work. So they'll kill you, right? And we do as a whole nation got to learn that more. But you got to also, if we're being truthful, right? We also know that on the flip side, there's our people that have gotten better, and of course, they're being more keen to that aspect of it. But no matter how much you do comply, they're gonna take it to that next level anyway, because they were looking to do so from the very beginning. At whatever point they figured out that you are you. Okay? So, again, they were looking to, because of the perpetual hatred that that Esau has towards Jake. And they were looking to do this from the get-go. So no matter how much you comply, no matter how much you listen to them, just complying to their rules, whatever, you do everything they tell you, they're still at any point willing to shoot off and take you out. It really just depends on if the Most High wants to keep you here or not. That's just really all it comes down to. If he still wants you, doesn't want you to give up the ghost, you still remain here. But otherwise, and it could be for judgment, it could be take you out before the times of trouble, if it's a believer, of course. But, whatever the case may be, it's up to the Most High to make that call, because these people will do it. How much you listen to them, there's times where it could still happen anyway. Right? You got plenty of the worst out here. And this man was in a bike, right? And he probably was fighting. He was fighting for his life, because really, what was there more to do than just to drop a ticket to him, right? They exchanged words, right? Who knows how he came in? Who knows what he said? He was running away. Now, when they said he struggled, right? It's probably Foster trying to get, hey, you're hurting me. Not there. If I could imagine if it's anything like what happens to our people, you're hurting me. Why are you doing this? Why are you applying this force? You don't know exactly what he was doing. A rookie, on top of that, used a taser on the father. And he struck him with his flashlight. Several times, it says. 7 shots fired. Yet, in the video we watched, did they even fire at that woman? They even fire at that Edomite woman who actually shot somebody? Listen. Now, dealing with the case, Solano County District Attorney Krishna Abrams declined to bring charges against McMuffin, who is white, yeah, we know, saying the February 2018 fatal shooting of Foster, who was black and unarmed, right, was justified. Right. So they declined, right? This did not happen. They said this was a justified killing. Okay? See, they hold themselves not guilty. In January 31, 2020, letter to Vallejo Police Chief, Abrams said that Foster posed an immediate and extreme threat to McMuffin, that it was objectively reasonable for Officer McMuffin to defend himself and open fire on Foster. It was reasonable, right? But it wasn't reasonable for you to shoot. It would be totally unreasonable to shoot back at a woman who has the AR-15 in her hands, who already struck somebody, right? Already shot somebody, wounded them in the chest, right? Because look, let's look at this again. Let's look at this ESPN replay, right?
Slip out of her cuffs and access a console in the front seat labeled gun, the undersheriff said in an interview. They say she was then able to load around into the chamber and fire outside the vehicle. Body camera footage released by police show moments shots rang out. Ow! Confusion as deputies try to figure out what just happened.
Danny, I'm hit right here.
One civilian receiving a wound to the chest. He's later taken to the hospital, according to NBC affiliate KFOR, while the sheriff's deputy is only grazed by the bullet. As the deputies and the wounded bystander take cover and call for backup, more shots ring out.
Got a civilian hit. What the heck?
Law enforcement expert Cheryl Dorsey weighing in on
This to a department going to do anything different now? Because obviously this woman seemed to get there pretty.
Now, look at that. Look at how she did it. She, like I said, she looked like a extra size Harley Quinn, right? That added some pounds on her. Maybe too many donuts with the Joker, right? And you know, she's got right out them cuffs, man. Like this is an easy day in the park, man. Grabbed the AR-15 and had the audacity to shoot somebody. Could have killed him. Grazed a police officer. And yet she's still alive. Now they did, yes, she's put in jail. Yes, I think they said it was $1 million in bond or whatever they're holding her for. Yes, okay, amazing, great. But why is she still alive? And again, the only reason why we ask this is because we know that it's not the same case with Jake. See, Jake doesn't get a chance, right? We just read a situation, right? Say that to the brother Ronald Foster, right? Now let's see what they're going to do.
Maya Eagleton joins us now here in studio. So Maya, is the sheriff's department going to do anything different now? Because obviously this woman seemed to get there pretty fast.
Right, so they're actually going to remove that console labeled gun, and they're going to find a new location for those extra weapons and also provide some additional training for their staff.
Oh, great. Oh my goodness. Yes, that's how you do it. Yes. Justice is being served. They're making improvements already. Yeah. Look at that. Good job, Esau. You're going to get more training to their officers and remove the compartment. They shouldn't have had that weapon there in the first place. But again, had Jake been able to get that, he wouldn't be alive to tell the story. He wouldn't be alive for bond. See that bond, again, that bond would be okay. Had the Jakes that you killed still be alive. Had this brother Ronald Foster not been fatally shot in 2018 and many other killings, we don't have this story. Let's actually read another one. A year later, so the guy wasn't charged. So he wasn't charged. Keep that in mind. McMuffin Man wasn't charged. McMuffin Man wasn't charged. So a year later, he shot again in 2019. This time, the slain man was aspiring. Oh, what do you know? Another black guy, so-called black guy, right? He got a Judite. He probably got a Judite kill count more than what we could count on our hands, man. We don't know. This time, the slain man was aspiring black rapper Willie Mccoy, who was asleep in his silver Mercedes CL S500 outside of Taco Bell shortly before 11 p.m. on February 9, 2019. We remember this one. I'm sure we remember this. An employee called 911 to report that McCoy was slumped over the steering wheel and blocking the drive-thru. When McMahon and other officers arrived, and look, and I'll say it again, Jake need to control himself, calling this wickedness, man. Like I said, it could be judgment. Because it's wickedness, and man probably was drunk or whatever he did. We don't know. Were they drugs? I don't know. He's blocking if he was blocking the drive-thru, you're giving them a reason to come at you, dog. Gotta be smarter. But that still doesn't justify these ends. When McMuffin and other officers arrived, 6 in all, you need 6 for a man that's sleeping? One of them spotted a semi-automatic pistol in McCoy's lap. As McCoy spoke, slowly awake, he moved his hand to scratch his chest. According to a report by an expert the city hired to review the shooting, officers believed he was reaching for the gun. They believed he was reaching for the gun, so they fired 55 shots in 3.5 seconds. McMuffin said he fired after believing that the officers and residents were in immediate danger. Officers cleared him over his role in that killing too. Oh my goodness, he just gets away. This dude is batting 1,000. He's shooting 1,000 by engaging in unsafe conduct and neglect for basic firearm safety, department said. Rolling that immediate day, officers cleared him over his role in that killing too, but he was fired in September 2020 for violating department policy during the shooting by engaging in unsafe conduct and neglect for basic firearm safety. It's a very sad situation, McMuffin said in a brief interview with NPR. Something I'm still dealing with. It hasn't gone away. No, look, this dude don't care, man. These people don't care. And that's what he wanted to do. It's one of those, if he could, he would do it again. He did it. He killed one guy, got away with it, came back a year later and did it again. 55 shots in 3.5 seconds? This man's playing Call of Duty. Like, what? For what reason? For what reason was that necessary? You believed he was shooting his gun. He hadn't. But yet, even with experiences like this, even with things like this, that woman got away. She literally picked up her gun and shot people. And she's still alive. She has a chance. Now, while it's a slim chance she can make bail, she has a chance. But tell that to the Jakes that got killed, man. Tell that to Willie McCoy, man. Tell that to Ronald Foster, man. Listen, man, these people are sick. This is why they have. I could keep going. We could keep going. We could keep going down the list. That just goes to show this, and this is dealing with a gun. Since 2015, police officers have fatally shot at least 135 unarmed black men and women nationwide. An NPR investigation has found. NPR reviewed police, court, and other records to examine the details of the cases. At least 75% of the officers were white. And mind you, that number has probably quadrupled since then. This was 2000. This article is in 2021. We're in 2022. If you want to say it tripled, that's fine, whatever. We know it's way above, it's way far surpassed 135. We know it surpassed 135 unarmed Israelite men and women. For at least 15 of the officers, such as McMuffin, the shootings were not their first or their last, NPR found. They have been involved in 2, sometimes 3 or more shootings, often deadly and without consequences. Look at this, man. Many officers will go their entire career without shooting, sometimes without pulling the gun out at all, said Peter Score, criminologist and professor in the School of Public Health at Louisiana State University, co-authored the Badge and Bullet Police Use of Deadly Force. It's rare. So even he's telling you, this is not a situation where cops usually have to pull the gun out like this, and yet they're pulling it out for situations such as these. Not like cases that you see on Law and Order, which even if you look at Law and Order, for some of them, I don't think it's every episode. If you were to watch an episode of Law and Order, it's not every single episode that they're pulling out their gun. They're using their gun. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not watching it every day. They are using it, but let's say they are, right? Let's just say they are. They're not dealing with it. They're saying that the average police officer is not dealing with situations like this. So it's rare. It's a rare scenario. But yet they itching. These Edomites are itching to pull it out. They're itching to pull their gun out, man. That's that's the weapon they blessed with. Now look at this. Why don't you look at this video right here? Came across. This one's pretty short.
Hey, go get someone, yo. Dude, so hard, 911.
You're choking a kid!
Damn, bro, God.
That's a 8th grader! Take a picture of this guy, somebody! Please.
Look at that. You see this Edomite. When he came out, his head was as red as probably when Esau was born. The original forefather Esau was born as his forefather. His face was as red as probably as Esau was when he was born. Right? He looked purple. Dealing with a Jake, 13 years old. And mind you, no charges have come to this guy. Nothing has been done about this. Nothing has been done. Absolutely nothing. These guys get away with everything. Edomites get away with everything. Right? You see it time and time again. And also it doesn't help. Look, it also doesn't help that our own people be defending these people, man. Care more about your oppressor than you do about your own damn self. Right? This is why we need salvation. For anyone, wondering that, that may be tuning on to the channel, for the first time or such. But anyone that know, this ain't new. This ain't new. Right? It's just all we get is furthermore examples that proves that this is not our resting place. And that makes you pray to get up out of here. Pray that you are chosen, called, chosen, and that your future is deliverance. Right? Because the Most High through Yahweh through his only begotten son Yahawashi is the only way out of these situations, man. This is Isaiah 14. Right? For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. The people shall take them and bring them to their place. The house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. They shall take them captives, who captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear, from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. That's the Esau, these dang Edomites and Babylon, right? The name, the golden city. It's going down. How has it stopped? Look, it's not running no more. It's been destroyed. Oh my goodness, in verse 7. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Look at that. The whole earth is in rest. Because these Edomites, look, the world's been given to the hand of the wicked. That's why they're able to prosper the way they do. That's why they're able to get away with these things, right? But in this time, right, this is how we, so many ways how we know we're not in the new covenant, because the new covenant comes, and that's not going to happen to Jake. Jake's going to be living righteously, serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahawashi, so the curses ain't going to take effect, right? This is what we seek for. This is what we strive for. And it's just motivation to stay in the spirit. It's going to make you angry, but it's also going to motivate you to know this is what's going to take place. And you know, no more of the fathers, our men, our women, our children, right, can be in a place of being threatened. It just can't happen. It's time for us to repent and come back to Yahweh B'Shem Mashiach and Malak Yahawashi, right? Believe fully, and it'll be in everlasting life. You dig? So with that, hope this was edifying. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, B'Shem Mashiach, Malak Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, learning and or teaching his gospel in truth and sincerity, diligently waiting on the second coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahawashi Mashiach, for deliverance. Kwam Yasharallah, to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Shalom.